This is Clayton Crane, and when I go to Facebook, I go to Black Flag Comics. And you should too.
What's up, everybody?
What day is it? It's Friday.
It is Friday. Oh my gosh.
It's so confusing.
It must be Friday. I see Shannon Maer.
It's a big day.
Hey, guys.
We're so excited to have Shannon here
oh
with us.
Oh my gosh. It's
hanging
like a dream come true. He's hanging out up in Black Flag. Check it out.
We're
like
so,
a bat.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at your bougie setup. I'm coming to live with you. It's so jazzy.
Is that okay? Will y'all take her? Can she drive on up?
Wow.
Sure. Yep. Well, this is my loft. I work up here.
That's awesome.
Like to keep it spacious. So
it's super spacious. That's awesome. I'm jealous. I love big ceilings. That's one of my things. That's awesome for sure. So
yeah, I appreciate it. I was in Manhattan for like 13 years. So.
Oh, wow.
You know, Manhattan apartments are small, so we moved up to the mountains to log home, and you know, I got my own loft space now for my studio, so
nice.
Really appreciated that.
Yeah, I bet some elbow room like outside of Manhattan because everything's like.
Absolutely, man. When you're in New York, man, that's a whole nother level of like rent and.
Oh gosh, I couldn't imagine. It would be raining
it's
all the time.
Definitely its own world.
Yeah,
for sure. How long have you lived in the mountains for?
A little over 2 years. I got Becky, my girlfriend / producer, and everything else in the background here.
Becky!
So she'll be chiming in now and then, making sure I got names and dates right.
We love Becky.
Yes, for sure. We love y'all. I know it is a beautiful setting. Everyone keeps talking about what a beautiful setting it is, for sure.
Yeah, let me blow it up a little bit so they can see a little bit more, and then we'll put you back up in the corner. Oh, wow. Check it out.
Yeah, they said some of my favorite pieces.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see the fireplace. We got our dragon head over the fireplace.
Oh,
nice.
The owner, the owner before us had a moose, and we weren't big fans of that, so we went with dragon head instead.
That's awesome. That is so jazzy. I love it. That is super cool.
We got everybody saying hello. Edward Lowe, Sean Marie Warner. We got Adam Boyle. Beautiful setting. Rob Schiff. Oh my gosh, it's just amazing.
Yeah, everyone's like, this is where my favorite pieces have been created, in that loft. It's like comic book history up there.
So that's where the masterpieces happen. That's incredible. Thanks for giving us a
Steven's out there and Kevin.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Super cool. Thanks for giving us a peep in. So we're excited to have Shannon here tonight. This is going to be just a fun time of just shooting the breeze and getting to know Shannon a little bit. We've had a pleasure of meeting him and Becky. Last year we met them for the first time in Boston, and we just hit it off immediately. They're just super kind people, and Jason and I love to get to know kind people. So
we like nice people.
Yeah, and these are two of the nicest people we've ever met. So it was awesome to get to know them better throughout more conventions, and we've missed them, quite frankly, with no cons going on. So I'm excited to catch back up.
Yeah. So what's been going on? What's been
we
going on?
We were really looking forward to the next show, and I don't know when that's going to be. They finally agreed to start doing more shows, and so now currently all shows are canceled.
Yeah, I understand totally. How many shows did you do last year?
Last year, was it 2 or 3?
We did New York, and then we did Chicago, which was technically this year. So
right.
I think just New York.
Did we do Boston?
No,
or?
we skipped Boston last year.
Okay, sounds like just 2.
So just 2. So we were lucky enough to see you at both of those shows. we feel honored for that, for sure.
I feel like a boss. Yeah, man.
He says he feels like a boss. And we saw you in Chicago,
yeah, so
which was awesome.
Maybe we're just stalking you, Shannon.
You need a...
That's okay.
Thanks.
And there's a cat stalking you.
Always look forward to seeing you guys. Always.
So
Thank you so much, man.
We love y'all. So we got a lot of people saying hello and all the things, and just like, yeah, it is a bummer that Cancel-Palooza is happening, for sure. For sure. Good evening. Hope you guys are well. Hey, Lloyd, how's it going? How's it going?
But we got Audie, Kevin, Cody, Karen, Daniel, Tom.
Dang.
I mean, there's just everybody up here. And guys, if you can't see this, like I was telling Shannon before we got started, two of my favorite things on the planet, Shannon Maer and Betty Page. I mean, this is our share prize, guys. We're giving away a Shannon Maer Betty Page print signed by Shannon Maer, and it comes with a Black Flag COA. So we're giving this bad boy away. So share away, guys. We'll be announcing the winner of that tomorrow.
Yeah.
So share it on your mama's wall. Share it in all the groups. Put it on the whatever network. We appreciate it. And guys, go ahead if you want to have some questions for Shannon. Go ahead and start asking them, and we'll field some questions and get the ball rolling. But Shannon, let me ask you this. Compared to New York, where you live now, do you have a better creative feel in your environment there, or like when you're in the city, the big city, like the Big Apple?
Oh, well, that's a good question. I'm actually surprised. It's one of the reasons I hesitated leaving the city, because of the energy. I felt that it was kept the momentum, the drive going.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a little bit worried about moving away someplace quiet and getting too content, but that's not the case at all. It's relaxing here. Air quality is so much better. I spent a lot of time trying to control the air quality in the apartment, so I don't really have to do that very much anymore. So
you open the
I
window.
think it's really been great out here. No.
That's
Now, you told me something interesting one time about your Betty Page art. What is interesting about your Betty Page art?
That it's that I'm a licensed artist for Betty Page, so these are all official Betty Pages that I do.
Yes, that is awesome.
Yeah, that's one of the coolest
Thank you.
things.
Yeah, and I mean, it is so lifelike. I mean, I love it. I mean, I've got Betty Page on my arm, so it's definitely, I love your Betty Page work, along with your other, beautiful cover work and all that. And that brings a question, Fielding, coming in. Thomas Michael Walsh wanted to know, where did you develop your talent? I guess, so where did you develop it, but how did you develop it? What got you into the artistic field and kind of the medium you're working in?
Okay, well, my whole life I've been an artist. So ever since I was as young as can be, art was a drive for me. Throughout school, so throughout college, my primary focus was oil paint, so traditional oil paint, but focused on illustration. I wanted to do book covers, so for novels and stuff like that. That was kind of my focus. And sometime after school and everything, I developed an interest in the digital art, and I was just like, well, I'm familiar with Photoshop, and at the time it wasn't very popular that people were doing final products in illustration that way. So I really just started playing around with it myself. Did some work, wound up getting an agent, got my first book covers for Scholastic.
Nice.
I was excited about it. It was Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Oh, cool.
I
Really,
love that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Becky's asking if I wanted to grab it. Do you know where it is?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd love to
Then
see.
Becky's
Are there dinosaurs on
Becky's
it?
gonna go and try and find it.
Oh man, love Journey to the Center.
Yeah,
Dude,
that's
amazing.
awesome. What a neat project.
So, who were your did you have any literary heroes growing up? You know, that was that just kind of fall in your lap, or were you excited to do it? I mean, what kind of novelists did you read when you were growing up? Did you like fantasy? Did you like science fiction or anything like that?
I guess it leaned towards fantasy. You know, like my favorite stuff were the Vampire Chronicles, I'd have to say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a D&D player myself.
That works.
Oh yeah.
He's like,
Nerdsville.
wow, total nerdsville. So Shannon, do you lean toward mixed media or digital?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that.
Do you lean toward mixed media or digital?
Oh, well, leaning, I guess the majority of my work has been digital as of lately.
Mm-hmm.
And I am interested in doing and mixing in more of the traditional. I've been doing more of the pencil work recently. And last summer, I started to delve back into the oil paint because I miss it a lot. I do miss it. So I want to get a proper studio set up here for that. And Becky has just brought back the
I'm
journey
going
of
to blow
the.
you up here a little bit so everybody can see.
Zoom in on it.
Wow. That looks amazing, Shannon.
Thank you.
Look at the detail on that. How old were you when you did that piece?
That is a good question.
It's like, and one I don't want to tell you.
I would say late 20s.
Nice.
Wow, that's awesome. I'm over 50 now, and I still can't even do like a shoe.
So true.
Now, you were talking about your pencil medium that you started tampering with. That red Sonia you did recently looked pretty dope. You think you might have a little something you could show the people out in the Facebook world?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, hey Ryan Kincaid, how are you?
Ryan, what's going on?
So this was originally done for Red Sonja for Frankie's Comics.
Frankie's Comics, Kevin Fields. Hi, Kevin.
Wow,
Yeah,
check that out. That is amazing, brother.
Whoa. That is jazzy for sure. She's beautiful.
You did all that with a number 2?
No, pretty much as soft a pencil as possible. I'd say the
Wow.
majority of it is all soft pencil.
She's beautiful.
Great work, Shannon. Great work. That looks amazing.
It is. It is. Gosh, that is incredible. Yeah, it's a beautiful cover for sure. I love that.
Now, there's a couple of questions coming through. Like, out of all the characters you've drawn, we'll do a two-parter. Who is your favorite to portray? That's by Edward Lowe. And then Travis Noakes wants to know, second part of the question, what character haven't you drawn that you would like to put on a cover?
Oh.
Real quick, and Travis Noakes is from Comics with Bueller on YouTube. It is a fantastic channel. You should definitely check him out.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yes.
Very cool.
Bueller. There was a few hellos out there. Jody's out there. I avoid using last names. I don't know if they want spotlight, but hey, Jody. Becky informed me you're out there. She's on the side here watching the stream, so she can see who's out there. Okay, first question was favorite character.
Yeah, your favorite character.
Yeah.
I'd say Harley. I do like doing Harley, so I've done a few of them, and I have no hesitations about doing more Harley covers.
Awesome.
I definitely, the other part was, what character do I want to do? I do want to do a Batman, so I'd love to do a straight up Batman in the near future.
I'd love to see that.
That would be great.
Yeah, and Yeah, and I am looking forward to, mixing up some of the characters. It was Venom.
Mm-hmm.
Did Venom recently, so I was pretty
we
excited
saw
to get
that
to
Venom.
that. Yeah.
Nice.
So that was a little different than, a lot of the covers I've been doing this past year.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. Super cool.
Did I miss any more questions that were included there?
So you want to do Batman. That would be the one that you'd like to get on a cover that you haven't done yet.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Now, let me ask, because kind of stepping at, like your comic forte is kind of like doing the Bomb Girls, and you kind of stepped out of that, and you did Venom, and you knocked it out of the park with Venom. Now that you've done like Venom and you're wanting to do Batman, who are you thinking more? Maybe stick with the women, or maybe start, doing like some Green Lantern, Flash, Spider-Man, Venom? Which way are you thinking now? Or would you like to blend both of them?
I'd say definitely blend them. I do love portraying the female characters. I enjoy it very much. But absolutely mixing it up. Would love to do that. I was thrilled to do a Spider-Man cover, but it's just his mask on there. It was Mary Jane, which was great. But I'd also like to do,
I love that one.
Spider-Man straight up, and maybe if it's a mix of characters as well.
Nice.
So I'm thinking about, doing a little bit more of that, some maybe potentially mild action scenes.
Ooh, I hear a Sinister Six on its way.
That's awesome. That sounds good.
Now, Edward Lowe also wants to know approximately how long does it take you to go from concept to final finished product? And let's do a spin on that too. Let's say in traditional art, where you're producing a painting, how long does it take you from concept to finish, as opposed to your digital work?
Oh.
Okay. Well, we'll start with the covers that I'm, doing now. Mm-hmm. So the easy answer is 3 days. They're intense days. It's day and night kind of days, as Becky always likes to correct me when I tell somebody 3 days. She's like, no. It's all day, all night, 3 days straight of intensely focused work. I know a lot of artists out there, are really fast. I envy them for that. But, 3 solid days for me is kind of the norm.
Well, that's pretty good, though. I mean, especially for the amount of detail.
I can do it my whole life, so that's awesome for sure. Yeah, and someone said the focus shows for sure. It's awesome. It's super awesome. We're all huge fans.
I mean, doing the Sistine Chapel once every 3 days, I'll take that.
Oh, yeah.
All right, now, you're hanging out with the Wallaces. We're big foodies. So what's your favorite kind of cooking you've been doing since you've been out of the city? I know you probably had a lot of takeout in the city. What's going on food life in the Mayer house?
All right. Well, Becky is laughing hysterically in the background. She asks what's
she
my
knows
favorite.
we're foodies.
My favorite cooking to do
is to let Becky cook.
I'm pretty good. I can whip up a mean peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That I can do.
Oh yeah, we talked about that yesterday.
So yeah, Becky does more of the cooking. She doesn't have to. It's by choice.
Of course.
I guess, I was a bachelor for a long time. I survived, but it didn't involve a lot of cooking, admittedly.
Yeah.
But
what's the favorite thing Becky cooks that you like?
Jason just wants to know what you like to eat. Like, it's a number one conversation he asks everyone. So.
Oh, everybody's got to eat.
Okay, well, Becky makes the best pork chops I've ever had.
Oh.
So I was never big on pork chops until Becky prepared it. And I was used to always having to have applesauce to mix with it, so it's a little more moist. And I was confused to discover that it just didn't require it. So she cooked some very tender pork chops.
Wow. Way to go, Becky.
Shauna mentioned Shauna's cooking. Shauna is one of our dearest friends in the whole world. And my cooking could not even compare to hers. You eat her food until you are sick. It's the best food I've ever had.
Yeah,
Rob
and she's a professional pastry chef. And
professionally trained. Her everything, it's amazing.
So Shauna's out there?
Yeah, Shauna's been watching.
Okay.
She's been tuned in the whole time.
Hi, Shauna.
Yeah, she said, or Shauna's cooking.
I must meet this Shauna.
Yeah, seriously.
Shauna is fabulous. Really looking forward to being able to have her join us at some of the shows.
Oh, awesome.
When that starts again.
So yeah, you guys will get to meet her because she's the friend I told you was going to be coming to MegaCon with us before that got canceled. So that's Shauna.
Okay.
I'll bring the portable stove.
Wow. He's such a great friend, that guy. Oh, that's so funny.
And Tom Fornes, he says, who of the current comic creators out right now, who is one of your favorite artists and basically on the scene, and would you like to collaborate with them? So let's do another two-parter. So out of the comic artists, kind of living now, who's one out there that you admire their work and you wouldn't mind collaborating with? And let's take it on another level. Who were one of the legends who are not here with us anymore, that if they were still around, you would have loved to have collaborated with them?
Well, and that's a tough question. I've always been intrigued by the idea. I don't know. I don't know. It would be interesting to try that. I've always been intrigued by it. Answering who I'd like to do that with, that is a tough question.
For sure.
What current creators out there do I like? I don't know. I'm big on DeBalfo.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Really, every time there's a show, I go looking for him, and
he's amazing.
An opportunity to see some of his work up close.
Nice.
The delicate nuances in his line work on his pencils, it's just amazing. I just love getting a close look at it, and it feels good.
That's
so
awesome.
Now what about creators from the past?
I would say, unfortunately, it's an impossibility. Frazetta, he's no longer with us.
Yes. He just melted.
Swoon.
For sure.
I admit when I was young and I'd be in the basement painting, day after day, month after month, trying to learn how to paint. I kept imagining, it's hard to get a fresh look at your own work.
Sure.
And be honest with yourself about how it looks. And I kept asking myself, well, if Frank was here, and he walked over and took a look behind my shoulder, what would he say? And it was actually very helpful, just imagining that. What would he say? And it was usually, you need more life, into the picture. So I guess I spent a lot of time, envisioning what his critique would be on my work.
I think he would say stud.
He's ridiculous.
Yeah, Frazetta's one of my favorites, but you're one of my favorites too. I mean, that would be an amazing collaboration if that would ever happen. But let's keep on going down. Here's another one from Drew Thompson. As far as like soundtracks or like TVs or anything, whenever you're in your creative moments and you're like going full throttle, do you prefer silence? If you have music on in the background, what do you listen to? Or if you've got a favorite TV show, what is that?
All right. So first thing I learned is silence is not good for me. So so my mind winds up too free to just go out on its own. So what I find is I'm focused on the artwork. So I'm not really reeling in my thoughts. They're just going. And I can wind up in bad moods that way. So what I like to do is listen to movies I've seen numerous times or TV shows numerous times, have them playing in the background. I also like to listen to audiobooks, which I need to start doing again. I'd say.
You've been watching Buffy, or not Buffy? Sabrina.
Yeah, as of recently, I've had Sabrina on constant loop. I think it's 3 seasons that are out. So I've had that playing in the background.
Awesome.
Okay, Becky's pointing out some of my favorites. Buffy. So Star Trek, yeah, I come in and out on Star Trek.
Well, you definitely got to do Buffy.
Jason loves Buffy.
That can get me through a couple of covers, going from one season to the other, to the end of them, actually.
Cool, that's awesome. So, when did you enter comics? Like, have you always been trying to get into comics, or is this something that just happened, or did you do something in the art world before comics? What about that?
All right, that is a fantastic question. I always loved comics.
Sure.
I don't think I ever really thought that I would fit in the comic world.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was in college, I went to art school. There was a comics program, but I never went into it. And I always wondered if I'd be able to take some classes in it, because I was fascinated with it. Mm-hmm. My work, I knew it was kind of, my style leaned a certain way. And I guess I had enormous interest in it, but just didn't think that the kind of work that I did or was pursuing would lend itself to that. Mm. And many years back, I got an inquiry. It came from Big Dog Inc. I was spending a lot of time on Facebook doing my own personal works, building up, I guess, my Facebook page there was growing, independently, just on my personal works. Sure. And I did receive an inquiry from them. And then I looked at the kind of work they were putting out, and I was like, this is fantastic. Mm-hmm. Really love the quality of the stuff they were doing. And I just responded, absolutely yes, I will do a cover. So I guess they had the foresight to be like, okay, perhaps his work will work, for these covers. Mm-hmm. So doing that, and I guess that just kind of fell on the sideline, and we didn't pursue it too much in the years to come. And then I guess it was a little over a year and a half ago, I just said, I do want to do these comics. I'm going to pursue it. I think there's something there. I think, there's some potential. I really do love it. I want to do it. Mm-hmm. And put in the effort, and, went looking, and in the past year, I got to do something like 31 covers.
That's crazy.
Wow.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, it had been a busy year. So,
well, I, for one, am very glad you decided to go into the comic world.
For sure.
Yeah, and, Comic Mint has been a huge part of it. They've been absolutely fantastic. So hi, Stephen. Thank you, Stephen. I think he's out there, hopefully still out there. It's a new world for me, and I am loving it, and I'm seeing it as a long-term thing that I want to do.
That's
awesome.
Great.
Yeah. And since you've always been a comic fan, let's see another question here from Lloyd Travis. He says, besides the modern things that you work on, since you're a comic fan, is there another period of comics that you like? Maybe, like, what's your favorite? The Golden Age, Silver Age, Bronze? Which do you like when you're looking into the comic past?
Comic past. Well, when I think of the comic past, I think of when I was a kid and I started collecting comics. I had a friend that got me into it, and started seriously collecting comics. It was every week, we'd make sure to be first in line at the comic shop for new comics.
Right.
What was on your pull list?
I was really into the independents.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I was big on that. So my friend was very into Marvel, DC, which I loved, but in terms of collecting at the time, I was fascinated with the independents and the style of the artwork that they were doing. So Aircel was putting out an amazing series, a collection of books. Elf Lord was my favorite.
I love Elf Lord.
Yeah, so my number one Elf Lord is still like, one of my most prized comic possessions.
Now, if you liked Elf Lord, I know you had to like Cerebus.
Oh,
Cerebus the aardvark?
Jeez.
Yeah.
He's like, sure.
I'm envisioning. I don't recall reading it, so bear with me. I'm just trying to remember.
It's okay.
And always the tick. I love the tick. Spoon. All right, and Jody Webb said, as we know, you do amazing cover art. Have you ever, or do you plan on doing interiors for a comic?
Okay. That is a loaded question.
Oh,
sorry.
Like you.
Yeah. I definitely have an interest in it. Definitely have an interest in doing my own comics. The idea of doing the interiors, deep thought goes into it. Some concepting has gone into it. So I think right now there is a huge question of, am I really going to dive into this or not? And I think there's a very high possibility that I will be diving into that in the very near future.
Ooh.
That is so cool. You heard it right here first.
Lloyd, sit down.
Remarking about that.
That's awesome.
So I have so much respect for the people that do interiors. It's a world that I haven't jumped into, and I am blown away by their ability to do it and the speed in which they do it. Don't expect that kind of speed from me. But I think it can be something really interesting to pursue.
Yeah, for sure. Put the whole story together.
Now, have you ever got to meet one of your inspirations or like one of your legends, like growing up, like people that you admired? Have you met any of those creators, like being on the convention scene, or maybe back when you were a fan going to a convention and meeting them?
Well, when I was younger, I didn't go to the conventions. It was just something I wasn't versed in. I didn't have anybody that went. I didn't really know much about it.
Got it.
So it wasn't until a couple of years before I started working with Big Dog Inc. that I had gone to my first convention on my own and started to learn what it was really about.
Right.
Into Artist Alley was, absolutely fascinating. But that was something that was new to me. When I guess in the earlier days, college or just post-college days, I got to meet an artist that I really liked. He came to the art store. He had a gallery there, so every once in a while, they'd have shows from some interesting artists, and they'd promote stuff and have appearances. And one of my favorite artists at the time, was Ken Kelly, and he came out to the local art store, from my perspective, and I kind of got to hang out with a bit with him all day, and that was like mind blowing to me, fresh out of college.
Wow.
And it was pretty quiet. I don't think they promoted the show very well, so I mean, for me, I got to spend a fair amount of time with him, and it was really great.
Yeah. That intentional.
I also
time.
apparently met Gunnar Hansen, and I didn't know at the time who he was.
Oh, Gunnar, yes.
Yeah, the owner of the art store. I was like one of the first people to show up there, and he
Wow.
was introducing me to him. And apparently, accidentally, I was a little rude because he was introducing me, and just then I caught across the room I saw an original Ken Kelly painting. Oh. And I had never seen any of these artists work in person. Mm-hmm. And I was just fascinated by it. And I apparently just like nodded and said, uh-huh, and walked off and beeline straight for the painting. And I didn't realize that it wasn't on purpose.
That's so
if you ever walk away from Shannon and think, wow, he was rude, I can guarantee you he did not intend that, because he is just the nicest, and he always tries to be as nice and considerate to people as he can be. So if you ever get the impression that he was being rude, it was not intentional.
Yeah, for sure.
Tell him, Becky.
He's a nice guy.
No, we promoted it because at some point...
And make sure I don't get distracted.
At some point, we are going to put out a Black Flag Comics Guide to Comic-Cons, and you are definitely on the nice artist list. We've talked about this many a times. The artists and creators you want to meet and the ones that you avoid. And you are...
We'll never make the ones you avoid. You just won't put them on there. He's kidding.
I'm kidding. You're definitely on the go-to list.
For sure.
And I'm serious, guys. Once conventions roll back around,
yeah.
Shannon, Becky, I mean, every convention we've ever met you at, you've been more than hospitable.
Gosh.
You've been nice. You've been over backwards to help us out with everything here at Black Flag, because we have such ravenous fans for you here. And I know it takes you hours to plow through all the material we bring, but you never say a thing. You always help us out, and we really do appreciate you taking your time to do that.
For sure.
Oh, yeah, signings with you guys at shows is always an offense.
It's like, no.
The last half hour of that day, they come by with a big box. Can you sign this?
We love it.
The day, because then I get like 15 minutes to just sit there and talk to you guys while he's just signing away. So.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah. We can just shoot the breeze. That's awesome. So, you might have some art that you were going to share with everyone. Can we get did you want to do that?
Yeah, maybe like some props or some like, art or
see
some
like
stuff
what you got going on in there in your
Becky recommended, thought maybe you'd want to see a couple of not my stuff, some prints of other artists or other things that I have. It was at Chicago, right, Becky? Mm-hmm. So we kept going back to his table. This guy was phenomenal, so I hope he doesn't mind me talking about him.
I'm sure he won't mind.
All right, Mauricio Abril. I am hoping I'm pronouncing it well. But came across his table and his artwork and just kept going back and buying more because it was just so warm, playful, fun.
Nice.
All right, Becky's going to hand them to me one by one, but I hope it's okay to show here, right?
Oh, wow. I love that. Anything Halloween is like my favorite.
For sure. The kitty's so cute.
But this guy is amazing. His name again, Mauricio Abril.
Nice.
Oh, Sonic. Spent many a day in front of that game. Oh, and he's racing the Flash and Superman. That's awesome.
This is really
that's impressive.
Really a lot of fun.
Oh, that looks really good.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, I love that.
Last one of these I'll show for now. I actually have more. Like I said, we kept going back to his table and we're like, more.
Man, that's like Pixar meets Marvel meets DC. I mean, this guy's got it going on.
I'm gonna check him out now, like for sure. I've never heard of him before.
Yeah.
Have you?
It's like Toy Story in Gotham City.
Yeah, I just thought it was so much fun.
Telling
him we were going to get it, framed, and Becky was telling him, I don't have much of anything displayed in my studio, but I was looking forward to having those up. They were just warm and inviting.
Very
fun.
And we haven't been able to go out and get things framed right now, so that's the only reason I don't have that done yet. But I'll look forward to doing that when we have the opportunity again.
Of course.
You also have your statues.
Oh, okay.
See, this is what the guys like to see. They like to see your stuff.
Like, what do you have at your house?
We'll do those shortly. Let's see. Oh, I'll just show these real quick. We recently had to get one of these.
Oh, yes.
I'm just like Becky, we gotta get this. You know, it was expensive, but I'm like, it's a must-have.
April wants that so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, Mickey Mouse and Marvel. I mean, come on. And the 9/8 slab on top of it.
You lucky duck. I'm jealous. My friend Nick Anderson, Donnie Anderson, has one. I'm just so jealous of it.
We're too cheap.
We are. We are.
I got one of these. I knew someone on the inside, so I was able to actually get this.
Fancy, fancy.
Man.
That's awesome.
It's the Blood Red. This is one of mine. For those that aren't familiar, it's got a remark on it.
Very rare remark.
I was getting ready to say, I've never seen a remark on one of those.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I think maybe I did a dozen of them or so.
Wow.
Yeah, not too many. It was less than 20.
Yeah.
That's going to be like a national currency in some third world country.
I mean, for real, that's insane.
Don't mind my getting up and down here.
Oh, no, not at all. Thanks for sharing, Shannon. This is awesome.
I know. I got my popcorn out. Keep it coming.
Yeah, you can probably close that up so the cats don't stand on it. And yes, we have 3 cats walking around in the background. I'm sure you've seen them a few times.
What are their names?
Becky. You want to feel the cats?
There's Becky. She's
This
introducing.
is Ollie, and hi, yes, Becky's here.
Everybody's
This
been
is
wanting
Ollie.
to see you. Now, what was that cat's name?
Ollie. Oliver Queen.
Oliver Queen.
So cool.
Then
We
we
love
got, you don't have to
kids.
chase them down. We got Sarah and Bella.
Cute babies. So sweet.
We've got a duo of cats in our house, too.
They're rotten.
Oh yeah, what are their names?
S'mores
Oh,
and Mrs. Poppins. And they're horrible. I'm just kidding. They're not horrible. I love
That's
them.
Sarah.
Oh, look at him. Or
So
her. So hard to
See, I
tell
thought-
about the dress or tuxedo.
I thought we named her after the from the Labyrinth.
that's awesome.
Becky says her son had another Sarah in mind. And then we have Bella, as in Bellatrix Lestrange.
Mhm.
Yes.
Nice. Very cool. Very
And we also have 2 dogs, which are sequestered away with my son because they're
Yeah.
loud.
Yeah, very loud, and they're going to be play fighting and very distracting. Here's another of the few things I keep in my studio.
Cool.
Oh, yeah, baby. Is that original Frazetta?
Yep, original pen and ink.
Oh,
Hold on,
Cole's here.
screenshot.
Wow. He's going to try to have it printed and put into a frame. Like, what the heck?
Oh, man, the legend. Oh, man, you own
She's-
history right there, brother.
She's beautiful.
Just heard that we got Comic Tom in the background.
Comic Tom's here?
Nice.
Hey, Comic
Hey,
Tom.
Tom.
We met that guy before.
He sat in front of us, and I, like, fangirled this guy.
I know. I was like, stop it.
In New York. He was in front of us at a retailer breakfast. I was like, you taught me all the things. I knew nothing when I started this business with my husband. I was like, thank you for your videos.
Yeah, we got to meet him for the first time in Chicago.
Mhm.
Super nice
that-
guy.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Re- really enjoyed that. I was a little starstruck. A fan of Comic Tom.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, you don't think about stuff like that, but I was too. I was like, wow, like, what the heck? I was like, just hi, thank you.
Now, Other Sampson was wanting to know, have you ever done any artwork for any album covers or thought about doing it? Or had any bands ask you to come up with a concept or a drawing for an album cover? Since you mentioned Ken Kelly, who did a lot of work for Manowar. And Frazetta did a lot of stuff for Molly Hatchet.
Oh.
Yeah, it was definitely something that I was interested in. I know these days there's been, less on average. Kind of like movie posters have moved more away from original art. They still exist, absolutely. But it wasn't something that I continued to pursue, as markets and stuff have changed. But it is something that I would absolutely love to do, yes.
That's awesome.
But not something that I've really pursued in recent history.
Just saw Mike Mayhew popping in the feed, and he said, "What up, Shannon? You rock, brother."
Hey, Mike.
I love Mike. Hi, Mike.
He's awesome.
Yes.
We love Mike.
Yeah, Mike's great. We got to go out to dinner with him and a few other people in Chicago, and it was so much fun. I think Shannon just talked to him forever and had a great time just chatting about comics.
Yeah, definitely one of my favorite artists, and felt you put me on the spot asking for favorite artists and stuff, because I'm like, there's such a list.
It wasn't me, that was the fans asking.
Jason's like, don't tomatoes.
Okay. I don't do hard-hitting questions like that. We'll go back to food if I'm asking questions.
The worst. Totally.
It looks like a cat attack in the background.
Yes.
There's always a cat attack. Oliver Queen is mischievous.
Yeah.
That's funny. Somebody said
he means it playfully, but they start roughhousing and it can get a little loud.
Wow, we totally understand. It's fine. We
almost always well intended.
It's not home if you don't have little patches of fur to clean up, right?
For sure. For sure. Somebody said Mayer and Mayhew sounds like an awesome folk band. Yes, that would be a good one. You guys could paint and do art and then play the banjo. That'd be perfect.
So what's your favorite movie trilogy?
Oh, a trilogy?
Yeah. All the best are done in threes, darling.
Wow.
Movie trilogy.
Who does that?
Well, I love the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man.
Oh, yes.
And I believe, on the spot here, it was 3. They made 3. They never made that 4th one.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. So I really was upset that they didn't continue with that. I absolutely loved those movies. I know the 3rd one got a lot of grief. Because maybe they had too many characters going on, but it was still great. It was still, actors that I loved and actresses, director, the visuals for it were fantastic. So I really wish that they had continued it. Then I guess I wouldn't be able to say trilogy, added to my favorite trilogies, but that's definitely a favorite. Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
still
yes.
Right by that. I mean, when that came out, that was just unseen, unheard of. There was nothing in the fantasy genre that was anything remotely close to that ever.
Yeah.
There was some decent stuff out there. We had Clash of the Titans, the original, but I don't think it was a market that they thought had that much potential until Lord of the Rings came out, and they showed them really what could be done.
Yeah, Peter David really did an outstanding job with that and The Hobbit, and I was just blown away visually and story-wise. And my first fantasy book I ever read, I went to Catholic school, but so that was in the library. So I got to read Lord of the Rings in the 1st grade, So I was like, wow, it's like the only fantasy novel in there. So I started reading The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, and I've just always been amazed by, J.R.R. Tolkien and just his use of language skills and just his ability to create characters. And then Peter David, just to be able to come in and just carry the ball. I mean, it's just amazing all the way around. We need to do a trip, Shannon. We need to take a long voyage and go over to New Zealand and go hang out in a hobbit hole and have some good hobbit cooking.
We keep talking about building a hobbit hole in our yard.
Yes.
We're up here in the mountains, and we keep looking at the hillside and being like, we build one. We're just right there. It'll be the guest house.
Can we come?
For real, that's amazing.
We'll be your first guest.
We dream of having a house like that. Seriously, we love like small, cozy. Like that's just totally our jam.
Now you mentioned the original Clash of the Titans. Were you a fan of like any of the Sinbad movies back in the day?
Oh yeah. You know, I haven't seen those in a long time.
Forever.
But absolutely love those. You know, like I said, there was some good stuff out there. There was just nothing fantastic or that was put together to that kind of quality level. But yeah, I loved all of those fantasy adventure movies.
Yeah, Ray Harryhausen just really made those movies. He was always an inspiration. When I was growing up, I loved his, you know, small figure work.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Now, Edward Lowe said, "What artist, classical or contemporary, do you consider your greatest influence?"
Greatest influence. Influence. That's a tough one. I guess when I was in the earlier years developing my skills and learning how to paint and all of it, you know, majority of it was still oil paint. It was these, like I guess the Boris Vallejo, Frank Frazetta, these fantasy artists. I like the surrealism and stuff, and I like their personal work. So it wasn't just commission projects. So I like the vast array of the subject matter that they did. I would say from going further back, you know, Rembrandt. I absolutely love the use of light and shadow, and it's kind of I try to keep that in mind when I'm doing, you know, lighting and form on my figures. That underneath it all, you know, we have a value structure. So I really like using light to shape my figures.
Bob Ross?
Bob Ross.
He's the worst.
That is a style that I never ventured into. I appreciate it very much. You know, so I'll be blown away by the work he does and how quickly he does it.
He just whips that
so
out.
Working traditionally, it's a method whereas you're not working with just a fine tip to do your details, that you're using the paint that's already laid out to grab texture and then to create your detail that way. I appreciate it very much. I never, as of yet, have focused enough on that. And that is something that, as I go back into painting with oil, I want to add more and more texture to my work because it's something that you kind of have to strain to do digitally. So when I worked traditionally in oil, I did everything I could do to keep it smooth and polished and try to make the finished result look like a print. But then when I moved over to digital, I would have to go out of my way to put texture, some natural texture, into my work. So did I answer all the questions?
Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, that's interesting to hear that perspective, being someone that knows nothing. So there's so much that goes into it. Like, it's just, you can appreciate it so much more the more we talk to you and other artists. Just like, holy cow, like you guys, people think that things happen quickly. Like this has been a journey like throughout your entire life to get to where you are, and that's impressive. Honestly, it just takes so much stick-to-itiveness to, is that a word? It is today. To
you can combine it all into one word
to be able to continue on like that. I mean, congratulations, Shannon. Honestly, it's impressive. It's really neat to see it all come together.
Now, something I want to know. favorite vacation spot, or if you don't like vacation, what do you do just to get away and walk away from your work every once in a while?
Okay. Well, vacations, that I don't take enough of.
What's a vacation?
Yeah, things like, what's a vacation?
Sorry, Becky.
We have been enjoying going up to the Cape. So that's really nice. It's beautiful up there. We do need to take some longer trips. Becky will go virtually anywhere. And I'm not a huge fan of flying, but I am fine with the train. And we were going to venture out and do more shows. That was part of the agreement. It was like, okay, let's try, training up to Chicago and seeing how that went. And we both enjoyed the trip a lot. So the train, it was relaxing. We had time to ourselves. There wasn't anything else we could do. And mentally, actually, that was good for me. So we had been planning on doing some more trips, starting with the shows and then hopefully more vacations.
Right.
Enjoyed taking cruises. It's been some time for that.
We have yet to go on one together. So
yeah, so hopefully we'll be taking one of those together. But vacations, I haven't done many of those quite some time.
Well, we'll have to change that at some point.
Jason's inviting
It's a Disney trip, buddy. It's a Disney trip.
Oh, that is something I need to see. I've never been to Disney.
Oh, you've got to go with us.
We will be your personal tour guide.
It'll be fun.
Yep.
I used to live in Florida a couple hours from Disney, so I've been a few times.
Yeah.
Well,
that's fun.
was it that got canceled, right? So, I mean, we were making plans for that. So that would have been a new adventure, and hopefully getting to go find some time to get to Disney.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
Harry Potter.
Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Yeah.
Great place.
And the hotel with a lazy river that Becky was telling me
Yes.
about.
I love lazy rivers.
Yeah, for sure. So do you have any hobbies that you like to do other than work, or you hobbies are your work? I mean, because I can relate to that. I have a lot of things that I like to do, but I end up working I enjoy work too, though, so it just kind of like all melts together.
Okay. I guess, I have a little bit of an obsessive personality. So my artwork consumes a great deal of my time. Every once in a while, I do venture off in hobbies. I have an interest in writing. I was knee-deep in writing, my own novel a couple of years ago. I guess I got about halfway through it. Yeah, so never done anything like that. And then... cool. All of a sudden to have, 50,000-60,000 words done.
Impressive.
Doesn't mean it was good. But anyway, so I have enough interest in that I would like to pursue it more.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah, I'd love to see
Yeah,
that.
and then that also stems into, we were talking about doing interiors, which would mean that, I'd want to create my own comic and potentially... collaborate and write with Becky, who is a fantastic writer herself.
Oh, Becky knows how to do all the things.
You're just saying that because it's true.
She's fantastic, for sure. For sure.
Well, Shannon, this has been absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Brother, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule, for reaching out to everybody, and just, a chance to sit down and talk with your fans. And two of your top fans sitting right here, me and my wife. And it's
your
just
wife
been,
and I. My wife and
I. That too. But it's been absolutely amazing. Guys, I know everybody keeps wanting, Mayor stuff. We don't have anything to offer tonight, but guys, if you're interested, go over to Black Flag Comics Ironclad Society. We have stuff in there. Anytime we meet up with Shannon, we are always filling it up as long as it lasts. Shannon,
not very long.
If you've got any plugs like your website or anything like that, or any
please.
last things, feel free. The floor is yours. If there's anything you want to let your guys know about any upcoming projects, what sites to visit, what platforms are you on, Instagram, Facebook, how can people follow your work and buy your stuff?
Well, no, I don't really have anything to plug. I'm just happy to be here. Happy to join you. You guys are fantastic. I hope you guys, everybody appreciates you.
We love you, Shannon.
I'm just glad to help out if I can. I don't know if you were, I see on the screen there, you got that Betty Page.
Yeah.
Doing that. Were you doing that another time?
Oh, no. So what we're going to do it as a giveaway. So everyone that shared the feed tonight as we're live, Jason will give it away tomorrow. He'll put up a post with a random person. He'll use a randomizer and choose someone who actually shared the feed, and then we'll put it up on our page tomorrow. We'll tag you in it as well.
Yeah, we'll tag you in it, and that way you know who the winner is, and it goes out absolutely free. They don't have to pay for shipping or anything. It'll just go out in the mail next week.
Yep.
I want to thank everybody that came and joined us today. I was sharing, the promos for it and hoping to see you guys here. And Becky's been, whispering off camera, who's joined the group and everything. Wish I had the time to say hello, individually to everybody. But really, thank you so much for coming and joining us.
Yeah, Shannon, you were one of the most gracious people we have met, and we are so thankful for your friendship. And it's really neat, guys. If you watch him on Facebook and things like that, he does interact, and he does actually take time to try to get back to everyone as much as possible. And I just can so appreciate that.
One of the most interactive creators on Facebook.
Yeah, super humble.
Yeah.
And we love that.
And actually, I'll take this moment on the airways because at the shows, I talk to people, and sometimes I find out that people are a little hesitant to start a conversation or maybe ask for a picture and stuff like that. Like, I understand that they don't want to take too much, time or bother a creator. I'm thrilled too. I hope that everybody that comes by to visit feels relaxed. No need to purchase anything. Come by, say hello. If you want something, signed, that's great. But I mean, just don't hesitate with me. And sometimes it's a little hectic and it's a little difficult to spend too much time with everybody. But all the time that I have, it's all yours.
Awesome. So kind, Shannon. So kind. That's awesome. Yeah, it's super approachable, and that's one of the best things about you, for sure. We love that.
Well, Shannon, Becky, thank you all so much again.
Yeah.
Appreciate your time. We'd love to do this again with you at some point in the future. Again, Shannon, if you'd be up for it. There's Becky!
Oh, Yay! She's been the voice off camera.
All night long.
She's absolutely fantastic, and so thrilled that she's here, helping with this as well.
Yeah, she's awesome, for sure. For sure.
She's at all the shows with me, so you can see her all the time.
Yeah, she does a lot, for sure. It's awesome that you have such a great partner. It's awesome. Super awesome. Well, I think that we're about ready to wrap up, but can you think of anything else?
I think that's it, guys. Just have a great weekend.
Yeah.
Thanks again for your time. Like I said, maybe look forward to doing this in the future and catch back up again at some point, and really look forward to running into you again when the convention world opens back up, Shannon.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Take care.
All right.
Good night.
Take care, everybody.
Bye. Good night, everyone.
Peace, Facebook.
Wow.